All right, everyone, here we are with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. To all the first-time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel, and to all the subscribers, welcome back. All I ask for in return is for you to smash that like button to let me know you watch this video and to stay tuned on in towards the second half of this video. We're going to talk about a ticker symbol I mentioned this morning, as well as an opportunity of a stock that is pulling back. We've been talking about it since it was $20, ran up to 25. It's now sitting at 23. And there's opportunity in this sector and for this company. So stay tuned for the ticker symbol to add to your watch list. We're going to talk about it right after this. So Ocgn stock, Ocugen Inc. has actually been sideways, right? We've seen some big jumps and then sideways, because at the end of the day, it's kind of just hanging out in the same area. These nice little jumps have been awesome, but it's sitting sideways. A lot of people are waiting for the FDA approval. I think that's one of the biggest things right now going for Ocugen. But overall, this stock is very, very speculative. We've been talking about it since it was actually way up here around this area. I stated it over at the Patreon that this would pull down closer to $6. Once it did, it would probably be even more interesting. And it broke through that, and it hit a low here of 585. That was like the best moment to own this and do a swing trade or own it through this whole entire volatility, because you're seeing the bigger picture. But just from that swing trade from there to all the way to the top here, that was a nice 50% gain right there in just a few days. Big opportunities here. So if you guys want to know what ticker symbols I'm watching weekly and get in on opportunities like that where we maximize profits and minimize losses, you can join me in the other Patreons, and you'll gain access to the Discord, where I talk about stocks that have potential to the upside of 5 to 10% on a bad day, and on a great day, anywhere from 10 to 20%. If that's something that interests you, the links are down below to the Patreon or Discord. So here we are. Obviously, Ocugen has had those opportunities. We've seen it. We got it at one of the best prices. So if somebody's holding this, right, and got in around this area, all this turbulence is great. This would be very tempting, these spikes. You're just holding because you're seeing the bigger picture, unless that was all you were looking for, right? Now, this article talks a little bit about a lot of things, and they even compared it to WKHS, which is very, very interesting, right? Workhorse Group Inc., how it lost a slice of the U.S. Postal Service, and we saw what that did to the stock. Now, they're saying that Ocugen possibly could be that terrible of a situation if they don't get the whole entire FDA approval, emergency use in the US market. But bottom line, they say that these high risk, high return investments are precarious, right, to proposition. However, in this case, there is more going in favor of the company than against as a trade. So they're kind of saying, this is the worst case scenario of what could happen. Obviously, we're all aware of that. High risk, high rewards, high risk, high losses. I say that all the time. You always want to have a stop loss every single day to go ahead and have that execute if it gets triggered or touched. And also, we see here that, they're basically saying Workhorse was a different situation than Ocugen. Now, they're saying that there's some catalyst coming on its own, but this is my favorite part. And if you're not aware of this, I want you to be aware of this, because a lot of people are probably trading this stock without knowing, thinking a lot longer term, and that's okay. But this is really the truth here. This is the way I would handle it. This is the way I liked it to be explained. This is probably one of the best articles I've read. So it says, in the coming weeks, we can likely see data from the phase 3 trial, and there will be more traction on the vaccine. These will push the stock upward. Possibly. It's not confirmed, but that's what we're expecting. Beyond that, Ocugen stocks lacks a long-term story. Woof. That was the truth right there. That was like the brutal truth. Once the stock surges, you should take profits and invest them somewhere else. Very true. Again, on the data publication, so forth, directly or indirectly, any positions in the security mentioned in this article. So they say the person's name. This is the way I would have spoken about this myself. If I had to write this article, I would make everyone aware, because they're really well known for their technology and innovation with eye therapies and stuff, and gene therapies for the eyes. But for the Ocugen opportunity with Covaxin, whatever happens there and any great opportunity happens in the short term, there's nothing really on the long term, unless recurring revenue possibly, right? For the stock, or some of the revenue that they made with Covaxin comes up in their financials for every quarterly result going well, and it makes the stock have like a steady ride up. But really, to like get away from the speculation and just do your part, which is what is going to make this stock fall really fast, is the fact that a lot of people are just waiting for the catalyst, the run, and get out. And that's exactly what this article is saying. So if you weren't thinking like that, if you want to leave something on the table, you can. But this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to tell you to buy, sell, or hold any positions. But remember this sentence right here, okay? Right here. Let's just highlight this whole entire part right there. Okay? I want you guys to read that and think about that. So, where are we right now? So the lowest point was 585. Anything above that, we're holding up strong. And then down here also 614. And right now we're in bearish territory, but this is tug of war zone. We recently hit a high here of 824. That needs to be broken through for it to go significantly higher. But before getting to any of those numbers, let's zoom on in here and see what's important. So the 50-day moving average, 687. Anything below it is bearish. Anything above it is bullish. Our support here is 668. If that gets broken through, your next point of reference would be down here at 638, 637, give or take, to see how the stock is reacting between those areas. Are the bulls trying to reappear and bring it back up, or are the bears tearing this one down fairly fast? Now, our 50-day moving average is 687, and yes, the bulls need to break through that to work upwards and get back into bullish territory. But for them to start pushing significantly up and away from the 50-day moving average, they need to break through 690 to then reach up here to 709, and then continue breaking through newer highs and break through the highs of $8 and some change, and so forth, for this one to take off. Now, it's taken off twice before anything has happened in April, right? And what alarms me is, will there only be one more run, and will it only be towards $8? That's the concern. Is it not going to be much higher? Because if it's not, that's something to be aware of, that, you know, this has probably made its move. I mean, this came from 30 cents, right? I could be completely wrong, but first we need to see it break through $8. Then we can think about up here at the 10s, and then we can think about up here in the 14 range, right? And within that area. I know a lot of people are saying $20, $30. Those are all possibilities. But right now we need to see these numbers get broken through that we see here and that we know of and that they've been touched before, so this can actually make some moves and actually show us some strength. And we got to be aware that once the run starts, it's going to end, and it's going to end pretty quickly. It could probably last a day, 2, 3, and that's about it. And like the article says, don't forget that right there. I'm not here to tell you to buy, sell, or hold any positions. Not financial advice, but I want you guys to be aware. I hope that with these cues, you guys are well equipped for tomorrow's trading day. If you learned something new, don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell so you don't miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and smash that like button to let me know you watch this video. It helps out the YouTube channel, and it lets me know you appreciate the time and effort I put into these videos. Let's go ahead and talk about the ticker symbol I mentioned this morning and the ticker symbol you want to add to your watch list. So today's ticker symbol, I've talked about it before, and it's actually pulled back. We're going to jump right into it, and we're going to look at when I started talking about it and how I feel about it moving forward. But let's jump right into this first. This is the morning briefing that I had today, and for those of you that are not aware, you can gain access to this by joining the Discord. The link is down below, and you'll also gain access to the Stock Market and Emotional Intelligence series, and you'll gain access to my weekly watch list for swing trades and long-term opportunities, okay? So let's talk about this. So I mentioned this one early in the morning today at 8:57, and I stated I was watching it. I wanted volume to pick up, and it did. One to watch towards the bell, sitting at 389. So it was at 389. It pulled back to a low here of 384, and it pulled up in just a matter of 4 minutes to 5 minutes, 414, right? The 5-minute to 30-minute workdays, I call it. And that right there was a 5-minute jump that gave us 10%. That's all we're really looking for. 5 to 10%. This one was a little bit closer to 8 to 10%, but that's what we look for, 5 to 10%. You're not going to be able to start doing this right away, but by joining the Discord, you'll gain access to a group of investors that are very smart, intelligent. They're all looking at different plays, and also we're here to enlighten each other on opportunities that are presenting themselves. So sometimes you only have one set of eyes and you can't catch every single chart at once, no matter how many charts you have pulled up. But when you have other sets of eyes and a community that's all working towards the same goal, there's a lot there to go ahead and sharpen and grow with, right? Like I always say, we're going to learn and grow together. Iron sharpens iron. And this is a great opportunity to learn how to exit and enter opportunities. You don't want to start off with your capital. You want to start watching or using a simulator. But I highly recommend it because at some point you'll get the hang of it. And there's going to be many opportunities to come. Weekly watch lists, daily announcements. And I'm going to start sometime in the near future talking more about options and puts. And that's where things are going to get more interesting. So if you want to join in on that and you want to join our community of 80 plus members already, the links are down below to the Discord and the Patreon group. Click on either one and it'll direct you right to the Patreon so you can see the tiers that are available. They're filling up quickly. So let's talk about the stock you want to add to your watch list. So this stock here is PLTR. Okay, I've talked about it since February 20th when it first showed strength, and now we want to watch it carefully for a slight pullback or consolidation. On the 20th, right after that, on the 22nd, it ran up a little bit and it pulled down. Okay, this was way back in February. So let's go ahead and pull this up here so we could see where PLTR sits right now. Okay, PLTR is actually in a position where the more it stays at these levels, the bigger and better the opportunities are becoming. I mean, what a drastic drop today. That was big. So on the 30-minute, it doesn't look as big, but on the 1 minute, it looks scary. So we've talked about it since way back here and when it ran and stuff, because it actually picked up, pulled back down, and then it ran up, and it's been falling since. So I stated we wanted that weakness. Now, this was the low at that time, right, throughout March, that's all we really knew about, right? That's all we knew. And then way back here and in this point and back here at these points, you could see the amount of weakness the stock has had and it's hit lows. And I've stated about this one again in March. I stated it again right here. And then obviously our February time when we spoke about it. But the main thing I want you guys to be aware of is that I've mentioned several times, $20 seems to be the floor. And if that gets broken through, the opportunities are getting bigger unless something fundamentally has changed. Now, this has been a great swing trade for those that have taken the opportunity since the 20th when we started talking about it. It hit this low, brought itself back up. I talked about it again before it ran up. And then as it's pulling down, I talked about the fact that we want to watch this as it gets closer to $20. And it's touched $20. It ran up again to 24. And we're talking about here a nice 10 to 20% gain every single time that these swing trade opportunities have presented themselves. Well, now it had a big drop, right? So what we want to look for here is either consolidation or call this the dip right now, because we don't know how much lower it could go, right? We don't know if it can continue in this direction, but this is the lowest that we know right now after this move, and start off right there or get some more if that's something that interests you. But really what we're looking for right now is consolidation or weakness on the downside. The closer this gets to 20, the more interesting. So I want you guys to be aware, PLTR is a long-term opportunity, and it's one that every single dip or every single time it gets pulled down, it's more and more interesting every single time. They're working with big companies, and I made a full video on why PLTR is going to be a big thing. It's going to be a big deal because IBM right now, their Watson computer was not able to do what PLTR is able to offer. So they're working alongside to make PLTR incorporated into the Watson, or PLTR technology and the Watson together to provide the service that IBM always wanted to be able to provide. So that makes me see how ahead PLTR is than companies that have existed before. and where it can continue to go and where it could take other companies and grow from that, right? So, man, big opportunities. If you guys have any bullish insights on this one or a bearish case, please comment down below. I look forward to seeing your thoughts on this one. And as always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.